In this revision session, we're going to look at music production effects. This is quite a big area, but you would have been exposed to most of these effects throughout the coursework when you were applying them to your pieces and working through kind of how they sound. However, if you haven't been exposed to all of them, you will need to do lots of listening, as the majority of the questions that will be asked for the AS exam are all focused around what you can hear and how these effects have been applied. So the first part about this is understanding the signal flow and the creative application of them. Below you're going to find a video that just focuses on how to kind of signal route your effects. Now, depending on the kind of effect you're applying, that will either be as an insert, which takes over the whole channel, or a send, which only takes over part of the channel. Now, what you'll find is that most dynamic processes, e.g. EQ, compression and noise gating, are done as inserts and they have to go on the actual channel. And most kind of spatial effects are done as send effects, and this kind of helps them be more efficient, CPU efficient, so you can actually spread the load of one effect across multiple instruments without taking up too much CPU. So the next thing you need to know is the kind of effects that we're going to be covering. So as we looked at before, the dynamic processing is quite a massive part of this exam, so making sure you have a firm understanding of compression, EQ, filtering and noise gating, and then looking at more the spatial awareness one. So looking at reverb, make sure you understand how reverb works, making sure you understand the different kind of delays that you can have. The next one is the ADT and double tracking, which is more of a recording effect, but it could still be asked is what kind of effect has been used on this guitar, and more often than not, if it's doubled up, it's either ADT or double tracking. The next one, so distortion, generally comes up as an electric guitar and describing the different kinds of distortion that you might be hearing. And once again, just below, there's loads of articles on these, from webinars to presentations to quizzes to revision cards, okay? Finally, probably the biggest area is this modulation effects. Now, modulation effects will range from chorus, tremolo, vibrato, phaser, flange, wah-wah, and probably ring modulation. So you will have to have an understanding of each of those. And once again, I've listed them below. So the kind of questions that you could be asked, as said previously, then they're normally listening questions. So you will have to hear a track and then respond to the question either as a multiple choice or as a description. So here's the first one. There is a distinctive reverb on the snare drum. How might have been recorded, or how might have been achieved? Now, depending on the decade, this would be different. Depending on the kind of music, this would be different. But in the word distinctive, it's going to be one of the common kind of reverbs. So have a look at the 4 common reverbs. Which of the following delay effects is being used on this instrument? Once again, that will probably be a multiple choice, but you'll have to really listen to it just to make sure that you understand the kind of difference between the similar delays. The next one is describing the kind of EQ being used or the filter being used, and that was done also during one of the other revision sessions. So we'll just recap on that. And then which of the modulation effects has been applied to the guitar. So those are the kind of questions that you can get for this particular area of study. And once again, as said previously, the main focus on this aspect is lots of listening, lots of analysing, and making sure you understand the difference between the different kinds of reverbs or the different kinds of delays and so on. Okay, well, have a good session and I'll see you in the next one.